What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about letter of intent. I want to take you through the process of writing a very good letter of intent, so we're going to work together in this video. I suggest that you get a pen and paper ready, or if possible you can use notes in your phone. Just make sure you are writing whenever I ask you to write something down throughout this video, okay? The first step is about finding your interest. That is before we even start doing anything regarding letter of intent. And the second, third and fourth steps are all about each of the three main questions of the letter of intent, okay? And finally, the fifth step is finalizing, cross-checking, editing, summary. That's what the fifth step is all about. It's something you're going to do not just today. You keep doing it until you submit your application. So if you've gotten your paper ready, if you're ready to write down with me, let's go. The first step is finding your interest. What I mean by this is I want you to ask yourself what exactly you are interested in, what you want to do, what you're curious about, what you enjoy doing, what you're passionate about. Think about it as a field in general. Whatever course you want to do in this world, it falls under 27 categories of major courses. It could be medical, it could be engineering, it could be socials. There are so many of them. So make sure you look at these 27 categories I have on the screen right now and choose that field that you feel like, yes, this one's for me. Then narrow down, look at the courses under that field and look at what you're going to study under each of them and look at what you can become. It doesn't take long at all. If possible, you can pause this video right now and try to do that. Type on Google, courses under ... whatever you want to study, whatever the field is. Finding your interest is very important because think about it. The letter of intent wants you to answer three important questions. The first question is all about your academic and social experiences relating to your intended field of study. And the last question is how important education in Turkey is for your future plans. So now, if you have an idea of what you want to do, what you're interested in, you know what you want to do in future, and relate it back to your educational background and see what experiences you have gotten from academics and social life together. By understanding what your interest is, you kind of answer 2 questions out of the 3 main questions of the letter of intent, up to 50% at least. Okay, that rounds up the first step. We can now move to the second step. The second step is about the first question of the Turkiye Burslari letter of intent. Explain your academic and social experiences relating to the field you want to take an education. If I'm to put this in other words, I would say, why do you want to study your course? What field do you want to specialize in? While explaining that, tell me your experiences academically and socially. Let me first of all ask you, have you found your interests? Have you found what you want to do, what you're passionate and curious about? If yes, then just take some time to think back, or if possible, write some things down. Which subjects did you take in high school that's kind of related to the field you want to study? And tell me what you've done like outside school. Don't think of something big. Think of little things you've done, or things you found interesting, or things you've searched online, you know, that you have done up till this stage. Please pause the video and write them down. It's very, very important. My father was a very kind man who had a large business with so much income. He was a very kind person and gave endlessly to friends, family, and the needy. However, this didn't last long because the wealth was not properly managed, so the business eventually collapsed. Seeing this as a problem, I wanted to learn how to not fall in the same trap of mismanagement, so I took economics and finance classes in high school. As one who wants to become an entrepreneur and a businessman, I want to learn about management, business administration, and accountancy. At this stage of my life, I am still curious about so many things and I don't have a particular goal yet, but I am sure of the fact that it all revolves around business, knowledge, and management. Hence, studying business administration in a reputable university and country is the first step for me to achieve my dreams. So for this person, he has been able to connect his social experiences with his academic experiences. He has a reason for studying business administration, and although the future is still unclear to him, he knows the field he wants to work in. Okay, so like I said, please make sure you have narrowed down your choices, and by now you should be thinking that, okay, out of these 3 fields, which one do I think I'm going to work in? From there, you start bringing up reasons for wanting to study your course. Still on the first question of the letter of intent, I want to give another example that can probably help you get some ideas too. This person says, I love watching TV adverts. They are very interesting to me, and it makes me wonder how possible it is for us to watch something on TV believe it, and even go to the supermarket to buy the product. As I grew up, I understood it was because advertisers plus companies had studied the viewers' preferences, designed nice products to satisfy viewers' wants, and even sell at discounted prices for a fixed period. So they simply recreate that through media, and before you know it, they have a boost in sales. This is something I would also like to do. According to my research, the knowledge of psychology, human behavior, economics, and some social science courses are very important. Therefore, I would like to study sociology or psychology at my undergraduate level, then economics or finance at my postgraduate level. From this short piece, we can see that this student wants something specific to become an advertiser, and she has taken time to research on what it takes to become an advertiser. So if you also know what you want to become, let's say a neuroscientist or a pilot or whatever it is, think about what department you need to study in order to achieve these dreams. Maybe you don't know, simply type on Google, okay, just like this person has done. You'll be surprised at the several options available, and because you know your interests, because you know what you want to study, you know what you're passionate about, you can easily connect them all to form a very beautiful essay. And the question, why do you want to study this course, will be beautifully answered. Okay, I hope that explains it. Before we continue, I want you to take some time, write it down. If you don't know, pause this video, go to Google and search. Like, please do this. I mean, if you postpone it till tomorrow, you probably may not have the time, yeah? So please just do it right now, and let's continue when you are done. Let's now talk about the second question of letter of intent. Why do you want to study in Turkey? So basically, step 3 is all about writing on your paper or on your notes, I believe if you have it on your phone. Why do I want to study in Turkey? List down a couple of reasons. In my previous video on letter of intent, I mentioned that you shouldn't state reasons like, oh, Istanbul is so beautiful, Istanbul connects Asia and Europe, Istanbul has a lot of history and culture and nice foods. So like, these are really good reasons. They're actually true. But you know, this scholarship has been receiving applications for over 10 years, and they've received thousands of applications, and the evaluation committee has read these same reasons over and over again. So I guess it will no longer move them, okay? Now, think about this. It is true that Istanbul is full of history. So when you add it to your reasons why you want to study in Turkey, make sure it is not the main reason. Just supplement. For example, look at this short piece. So this person wants to study architecture, and the person writes, there is no other place to study architecture apart from Istanbul, which is home to the great Mimar Sinan Fine Arts University and amazing architectural structures like the Dolmabahce Palace and Hagia Sophia that's full of history and culture. This is a very beautiful reason. It explains why he or she has chosen to study in Istanbul. He still includes the fact that Istanbul is full of history and culture, but he doesn't make it the main reason. It's like a supplement just to make it more beautiful, okay? So this is what I also want you guys to do. When you're writing, first of all, write down the main reasons for studying in Turkey, and then add this extra point just to make the sentences well refined. I want to mention something very important here. I'm only giving you these short pieces so you can, relate with the way people think, and also think in your own way and write things your own way. So make sure you do not copy, just try to get ideas from whatever I am giving out here. Okay, let me give you another example. For this one, I copied this from Global Academia website, and I made some changes just to make it sound nicer. I hope it sounds nicer. It says, considering the fact that the Turkish cuisine itself is a mixture of Mediterranean, Asian, Middle Eastern, and European influences, studying food engineering in Turkey is a wonderful opportunity because it enhances my knowledge about the variety, wholesomeness, and important compositions of a cuisine. Food engineering actually has more than tasting food and eating food. Fine, I agree, but at least it's a very good start. If you notice in this second example, no specific university was mentioned, no specific state was mentioned, but the question, why do you want to study in Turkey, has been answered to some extent. So please, now take your time, write 1 or 2 things down. Why do you think studying in Turkey will be good? Don't have any idea? Then simply type it on Google. To be honest, when I was writing my letter of intent, I had no idea on so many things, and Google was very helpful. When you type, don't just open one website and conclude. No, at least open 4 or 5. Read from different sources. If possible, open all the websites on the first page. That way you have a wider perspective and you know what to write exactly for yourself. Okay, let's move on to the third one. What are those things you want to do in future? This is what this question is asking. I believe if you have been following this video right from the beginning, because you know your interests, you know what you want to study, you know what you're aiming for, you know why you want to study in Turkey, I think by now it should be very easy for you to write down at least 2 things you want to do when you graduate. Do you want to do your master's? Do you want to go up to the level of PhD? Do you want to just stop after bachelor's, and start your business? Do you want to travel to some other country? Why? Do you want to do something new? Do you want to study another course? Do you want to develop yourself? I mean, undergraduate level is just the first step. So what is that next step to achieve my dreams? That's what I want you to think of, and please write them down in 2 sentences. I'll be waiting. Yes, I'm still here, I'm waiting. Yeah, you really need to write something down, honestly. This time I'm not going to give any example. You just have to look at what you've written down so far. If you have been following this video, I believe you should have written something down by now. So if you're totally, clueless, or you couldn't write anything down, it's fine, no problem. I also couldn't write anything down. Like, it was my first time thinking about what do I really want to do in future. Who thinks about that? Yeah, but it's actually necessary to sometimes calm down and think about these things, because it gives you a direction to follow. So all I did, I simply used Google again. Go to Google, type, where can I work as a computer engineer? What can I do with a degree in medicine? How can I become a neuroscientist after studying medicine for 7 years? Or how can I become a pilot? Or how can I become a policy maker for my country? Or how can I become a sociologist? Or how can I become a football coach? Or how can I become a table tennis player? Whatever you want to do, type it on Google and see, oh, now that I'm going to study my bachelor's degree, this is the next thing I should do. It could be that you should do your master's. It could be that you should immediately set up. It could be that you need to get some certificates from some organizations, or you need to take some extra exams. So future plans could be anything after your bachelor's degree. It could be anything after your master's degree. Like, once you are done with this level of education, whatever you want to continue with is your future plan, okay? It could be anything. Just make sure it is genuine and original. We're now moving to the final step, the last step. It's very easy, but you just have to do what's required of you. Now, look, you have written so many things down in your book right now. What I want you to do is take some 10 seconds break. Go through everything you have written. If you want to add something, add. If you want to delete, delete. Or if you want to change something, erase and change. It's very important. What you are doing right now is editing. Step 5, the final stage, is all about editing, summarizing, finalizing, cross-checking. Okay? Now that you've done editing, read through everything, and now give a beautiful summary. You know why you want to study your course, you know what you want to study, you know why you want to study in Turkey, and you know what you want to do in future. Now, give a good closing paragraph. Summarize it. If you simply type right now how to write a summary for an admission essay, you'll find so many examples on Google, and you can use anyone. But that's not the point. I want you to, first of all, write something from yourself. Like, just think about it. You already know everything. Then just summarize everything you've written into 3 sentences. That's all. Like, just 1 sentence is even fine. Just add something like, thank you. I would be appreciative. I really want to. It is my dream to. After all this, I hope that, I think I've given some tips here, right? And maybe we could give one example. We could look at that very good friend of ours who wanted to study business administration. I think he has a very good summary in his piece, which was, at this stage of my life, I am still curious about so many things, and I don't have a particular goal yet. But I am sure of the fact that it all revolves around business, knowledge, and management. Hence, studying business administration in a reputable university and country is the first step for me to achieve my dreams. A very beautiful summary, in my opinion. Yeah, something like this. This is probably quite long. Yours could be just 1 sentence, 2 sentences, or even longer than this. Just make sure it is something from you, genuine. And after you've written yours, you can now head to Google and check, oh, I can change this word to this word because it sounds better. Oh, I can rephrase the sentence this way because it's gonna make it more understandable. Yeah, that's what you should do, okay? Please don't just copy. And the examples I've given here, make sure you don't rewrite exactly the same thing. Just get ideas from them and write yours. I am repeating this because if you do that, trust me, you are only shooting yourself in the leg. Yes. So please refrain from doing that. Like I said, the final step is all about summary, cross-checking, finalizing, and editing. You have edited, you have done summary. I think the summary is also the finalizing. What's left is cross-checking. Now, I'm talking about 2-3 days later, or a week or 2 weeks later, or before you finally submit your application. Read through everything you have written, you know, see if it makes sense. Look for those parts that you're like, you know, change them, edit them, revise them, rephrase them, send to your friends, ask them to read it, send to your teachers, ask them to read it for you and make changes. You don't need to use big grammars, don't need to use big vocabulary. You don't need all that. Just make sure what you've written is clear, simple, short sentences, and straight to the point. Yeah, these are very, very important. So if you have gotten to this point of the video, thank you very much for taking your time to watch it. I really appreciate you, and I hope you learned a lot here. I hope that in the next couple of days or couple of weeks, you'll be able to write your own letter of intent without problems. And if you got to this part, please comment below and say, I got here. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the video. I hope it was very helpful. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want to learn how to apply for the Turkish government scholarship, I have a tutorial video on the right. If you want to know other scholarship opportunities you can apply to between January and February, you can use the video on the left. That's it from me, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.